One of the areas that we saw a gap that we started to focus on a few years ago is we don't refer to everything the same way. We need a common ontology, not only to speak the same language as humans, but also to enable machine-to-machine communication, understanding all the relationships between all the different things that go into a new media creation. And so we published that ontology of media creation. Ultimately, we want to be able to harness the data that's created upstream and make it available downstream in editing and other tools. How are you guys looking at the ontology that we published?
So today, the stages of media creation are really, as you mentioned, kind of fraught with data loss. The metadata that is gained in one stage of the process is often not able to be passed to the next. And really, when we're talking about metadata, we're talking about information, we're talking about insights. And as much as we can retain those insights and pass them from, one workflow to the next, one platform from the next, one tool between people, that's just a good thing.
So we're actually thrilled that you guys are publishing this ontology, because I kind of view with what we're trying to achieve, there's two parts to it. So the part that Autodesk should be focused on and with the platform is building an underlying data model, and we're building an entity component data model that can flex to various use cases. We don't necessarily want to be super opinionated, and we don't necessarily think we're the right people to be opinionated about what the ontology is. So when you guys build an ontology and you bring together all of the different players within the industry and say, this represents the best of our thinking about the ontology, that allows us to take our flexible data model, represent that ontology on top of it, and we're out of the business of customers coming to us and saying, hey, I don't think this is the right ontology.
The innovation that can happen around this area, I think, can be one of the most important game-changing things we can do as an industry. And so, we're following the ontology work closely. We're also jumping in and helping where we can with our knowledge base. We think this is really vital. I would say for the industry, we all should get behind this in a unified way, because this, for our customers, for the studios, and for anybody in the media business, the right innovation in this area is really going to be a game-changing innovation for really creating that efficiency in workflow, but also just changing how people work.
The ontology is a fantastic effort to, not only create a shared language across, the real breadth of, production, post, all of the different viewpoints that we bring into having these discussions about workflow and interop, but also to describe how things work together and the relativity between them. And of course, with OpenS.io, we care a lot about making sure that, the language that we're using is compatible with the ontology. But it's also something that's used internally at Foundry as part of our product development process. And I was speaking to one of our product designers just today about how much he uses the ontology and how important it's become to him as a way to describe workflows and to really utilize having that shared language, especially when we're coming up with something new that might not be a way of working that exists today. So it's a really fantastic effort.
It helps media and workflows be more discoverable. It helps with automation. It helps with archival. It really just opens up for there to just be more information that we can access to push how we're working forward and really build in speed, build in efficiency.
But it's not universally just only for studios, right? I'm seeing broadcasters use it. I'm seeing advertisers use it in terms of the content they're creating. And across the board at Microsoft, that common ontology is becoming fundamentally important.
Movie Labs is much better placed to build those ontologies, than Autodesk is. What we need to do is make sure that we can support the best ontology for the different use cases. And, there might be different ontologies for, say, feature films versus series versus commercials versus games. So from our perspective, we're trying to build the most flexible data model and the most, the data model that allows us to enrich the data with the most metadata as possible.
I have to compliment, and I think all of us at Avid would compliment what's going on in the Movie Labs work on ontologies. I mean, they're important. I think hopefully people who are listening know that they're basically all about knowledge management. And I think that we believe these are really going to facilitate end-to-end preservation and better utilization of metadata and data across the entire span of the production workflows.